If thousands of prehistoric beasts suddenly descended on modern Earth, could they tear through the food chain and reclaim the planet? The second they arrive, the sky above cracks open literally. You see a twisted rift tear through the blue sky as a deluge of dark shadows pours through. Hundreds of Quetzalcoatlus blot out the sun with 10-meter wingspans. The moment a 9-ton T-Rex crashes into the city outskirts, the very ground trembles. Megalodons and leviathans churn the ocean into towering waves in just 3 seconds. Everyone in your coastal city goes from apex predator to prey. They arrived, fully evolved, no transition, no struggle, the zenith of the advent. With its first wing beat, the Quetzalcoatlus catches the modern updrafts. Within 30 seconds, the T-Rex draws in its first breath of cold, dry air, fueling its body like an accelerant. The Spinosaurus slips into the estuary, reclaiming its rhythm, stalking unseen, lethal, and primed. Meanwhile, the city behind you sounds the highest level war alarms on the planet. Air raids, tsunamis, earthquakes. The sirens clash into a deafening wall of sound, choking the entire city. Humanity's response comes faster than you think. Offshore, the Aegis Destroyers are the first to open fire. The 127 naval guns pounded the approaching Megalodons, firing dozens of rounds a minute. Shells exploded on the surface, sending up columns of pale white spray. You saw an 18-meter Megalodon flipped upside down by an armor-piercing shell. The dull crunch of shattering cartilage was audible miles away. Then, the defensive guns roared to life, firing thousands of tungsten rounds. They wove a wall of death across water, shredding the leaping behemoths into a red mist. In that moment, you almost believed steel could conquer flesh, but then you saw more Megalodons, using the murky, bloody water to slip into the blind spots between the ships. No longer leaping to their deaths, they dove deep below the waterline. Slipping through sonar blind spots, they stealthily closed in. A 3-meter wide gaping maw clamped onto the destroyer's sonar dome. With 180,000 newtons of bite force, it ripped a gash through the titanium hull. Priceless precision equipment was torn clean out, blinding the ship's underwater vision. This 10,000-ton modern warship was instantly reduced to a blind giant flailing in the deep. Flooding alarms clashed with the shriek of twisting metal. For the first time, prehistoric tyrants made floating fortresses look fragile. Above, skies were in chaos. 2 F-35s climbed to engage the swarm of pterosaurs, their 30mm cannons weaving a web of tracer fire. But the Quetzalcoatlus is no bird. It had no instinct to evade, plunging straight into the fire, its massive body shredded in mid-air. As bone and hide rained down, you'd almost cheer for humanity. But just then, you see the Hatzegopteryx flaunt a down. Swooping low through city canyons, they scramble radar signals with the dense concrete, breaking missile locks and spoofing infrared sensors with the residual heat of the buildings. Giving chase, a fighter jet drops to a dangerous altitude, and in the next second, diving from the shadows of the clouds, a Quetzalcoatlus with a beak like a spear punches straight through the cockpit. You watch that $100 million jet plunges into sea, trailing smoke. Throw titans up in sky. Ancient winged predators are no longer sitting ducks. They begin using their vertical advantage to claw away our air superiority, inch by inch, on the ground. It is a meat grinder. Main battle tanks form a line of defense. The 120mm armor-piercing sabot rounds, designed to penetrate modern armor, slam into the chest of a Giganotosaurus. The land titan drops dead in its tracks, as gunship cannons and rockets shred packs of T-Rexes and tailprocs into a red mist. On the ground, anti-material rifles pick off the leading saber-toothed tigers. In just 10 minutes, you think human industrial might has finally subdued this primeval flesh. But you forgot the sheer numbers. Thousands, tens of thousands. This is a war no modern army has ever prepared for. Tank shells are finite, machine gun barrels overheat, and the beasts pouring from the sky's rift never seem to end. When ammo runs dry, when supply lines are overrun, when a T-Rex shrugs off a dozen rounds and still charges the infantry lines, crushing bunkers and soldiers in a single bite. Only then do you truly realize that quantity is existence. Tanks can't reload fast enough to match their charge. A T-Rex clamps its jaws onto an exposed tank, ripping the turret clean off, searing metal warps and mangles in its maw. Saber-toothed packs hunt down isolated armored vehicles, driving dagger-like fangs through observation, slits to drag the crew out, and Euroshicus slams its hammer-like jaws into the chassis of a wheeled IFE, flipping the six-wheeled steel monster upside down. Against an ancient tsunami of flesh, funks, and sheer mass, humanity's steel type is driven back inch by inch. But what truly sends shivers down your spine is that these beasts seem to be learning. The ones that died charging the wall of fire in the first wave became a lesson for those behind them. They've started bypassing the front to flank us, using smoke and ruins as cover, even attacking in coordinated waves, relentlessly grinding. Humanity's ammo is running dry. Ancient instincts are adapting before our very eyes to this new battlefield of steel and gunpowder. Huddled in the ruins of the command center, you watch front lines turn red, section by section. Calls for reinforcements go unanswered because every sector is in distress. Suddenly, the sonar operator's voice trembles. Another space-time distortion is erupting in the South Pacific Trench. The seabed tears, open with blinding blue light. The new acoustic signature, compared to all others combined, is an order of magnitude higher. On the radar, the crimson tide of unknown beasts has already spread from the coast inland, and that blip rising from the deep ocean is so massive, the screen can barely contain it. This battle, it wasn't a lack of weapons that defeated us. We fell to a long-forgotten truth in the face of sheer power and endless numbers. Civilization's moat is shallower than imagined. It took a century to climb the food chain, but to drag us back down took the ancient world only 3 seconds. The last drone was still able to fly, trained its lens on the fallen coastline. Cities burned, the sea boiled, and in that normally peaceful deep blue, a dark silhouette, so massive it defied belief, was slowly rising. In the final frames, the colossal shadow of a Quetzalcoatlus loomed lower and lower, slowly engulfing the screen before the signal cuts out, leaving only static.